She didn't have to do a lot but plug her nose and say amen. she
It began as one of the most unusual love stories ever shown on television. A man with a dream, 4 wives, and a vision of a united family living by faith and choice. That was the promise of Sister Wives. When the show premiered on TLC, millions were captivated. Cody Brown, the confident patriarch, introduced viewers to a world where love could supposedly multiply instead of divide. Mary, Janelle, Christine, and later Robyn, 4 women, 1 man, and an ambitious idea that polygamy could work in modern America. At first, the Browns appeared unstoppable. The show became a hit, praised for breaking stereotypes and showing a modern plural family. Money started flowing in from TLC book deals, public appearances, and a growing brand built around togetherness. They called it the Brown Empire. Not officially, but that's what it became. Each wife brought something unique. Mary was the loyal first wife, Janelle, the practical business mind, Christine, the heart and nurturer. And then came Robyn, young, emotional, and different from the rest. Her arrival was presented as another chapter of love and unity. But behind the scenes, cracks were forming. Whispers began among fans and even within the family that Cody's focus was shifting, that the balance of the family was breaking, and slowly, the empire built on shared faith and trust began to lean dangerously toward favoritism. As cameras rolled, subtle signs of tension appeared. Christine's forced smiles, Janelle's quiet frustration, and Mary's growing distance told a story that words didn't. And in the middle of it all, Robyn, whose bond with Cody seemed to deepen while the others faded into the background. Cody called it spiritual connection. The others saw it as control, but at that time, no one could have imagined just how deep Robyn's influence would go, and how it would eventually reshape the entire family. The Browns expanded to Las Vegas, building 4 massive homes side by side to the world. It looked like a dream come true: financial success, unity, and independence. But the truth? The move was more about escape than expansion. Legal pressure, financial strain, and personal conflict were already boiling beneath the surface. Every decision seemed to benefit one couple more than the rest. And it wasn't long before Janelle and Christine started asking questions. Where was all the money going? Why did Robyn have access to accounts that others didn't? And why did Cody keep defending her decisions like she could do no wrong? That's when the whispers turned into confrontations, and the dream that once inspired millions was slowly beginning to crumble from the inside. The cracks that once looked small were now gaping wounds. What began as silent discomfort had turned into open tension, and the world was watching it all unfold in real time. Cody Brown, once the charismatic center of the family, started changing. He became defensive, controlling, and more distant from 3 of his wives. Mary, the first wife, was isolated emotionally. Christine began to rebel, tired of pretending everything was fine. And Janelle, the quiet voice of reason, started keeping receipts, literal and emotional, for every promise that went unkept. Meanwhile, Robyn was becoming the new center of gravity. Cody spent most of his time at her home. She had more say in decisions, more influence over finances, and most importantly, she had Cody's full loyalty. To the audience, it looked like favoritism. To the rest of the family, it felt like betrayal. Money that was supposed to go into building homes at Coyote Pass suddenly went missing. Robyn's online jewelry business, My Sister Wife's Closet, failed to turn a profit. But somehow, the family's money kept covering the losses. And when Christine questioned it, Cody dismissed her as jealous. That single word, jealous, became a weapon. And a wife who questioned Cody and Robyn's decisions was branded as emotional or unstable. And over time, the balance of power in the family completely shifted. When COVID-19 hit, the situation exploded. Under the guise of safety, Cody implemented strict rules. But those rules only applied to certain wives. Robyn's household had different privileges. He spent nearly all his time with her, leaving the others to fend for themselves. Christine's heartbreak became visible on camera. She sat at family meetings, tears in her eyes, begging for equal treatment. And Cody didn't even flinch. The audience saw what the wives had lived for years. Control disguised as leadership and manipulation masked as love. And then came the financial truth. Documents revealed that the family's shared business accounts were being quietly rerouted through a private LLC, one tied directly to Robyn, the same LLC that owned the rights to family properties, income from TLC, and even some of their joint investments. Christine and Janelle were blindsided. They had spent years building the family brand. But on paper, they owned almost nothing. Cody called it asset protection. But to them, it was theft. The emotional toll was unbearable. Christine couldn't take it anymore. Her faith, her love, and her patience had all run out. In one of the most powerful moments in reality television, she packed her bags, took her children, and walked away. Janelle followed months later. Mary, still hoping for a miracle, was left in emotional limbo. But even she would soon realize the truth. Cody's heart wasn't divided anymore. It was fully claimed by Robyn. By this time, fans were furious. The family that once symbolized unity had turned into a case study in manipulation and favoritism. Every episode felt like a slow-motion implosion, and the man who once preached love and equality now sat on the ruins of his own empire. But the real story, the one that would destroy everything for good, was still to come. Because behind the failed businesses, behind the tears, and behind the cameras, there was a deeper secret. A secret involving money, property, and betrayal so deep, it would ensure the Brown family would never recover. The moment Christine left, everything changed, the illusion shattered. For years, Cody Brown sold the image of a united family, strong, faithful, and built on love. But now, the world saw the truth. Behind the smiles and the scripted family dinners was a man who had lost his way, and a woman, Robyn, who had quietly taken control of everything. Cody's relationships with his children began to collapse next. Garrison and Gabriel, Janelle's sons, called him out for his hypocrisy. He preached about family unity while refusing to visit them. He demanded loyalty, but gave none in return. And when they questioned him, he chose Robyn's household over his own sons. The heartbreak wasn't just emotional, it was financial too. Court documents, leaked through online reports, revealed how deep the manipulation went. The family's earnings from sister wives, tens of thousands per episode, were being funneled into an account managed by an LLC under Robyn's name. On paper, it was meant to protect the family's assets. In reality, it gave Cody and Robyn total control. Janelle discovered that her years of contribution, the money she invested in Coyote Pass, the show, and even Robyn's failed jewelry business, were gone. When she confronted Cody, he called her disrespectful. When Christine asked about the funds, he accused her of betrayal. It was a pattern, emotional manipulation disguised as leadership. And now, every lie was unraveling. TLC cameras captured Cody's descent in real time. The confident patriarch, who once claimed to be building a kingdom now, looked desperate, angry, and paranoid. He lashed out at Christine and Janelle. He blamed Mary for not being loyal enough. And in every argument, Robyn stood beside him, calm, collected, and in control. She wasn't just his wife anymore, she was his shield, his advisor, and, in the eyes of many fans, his puppet master. Even as the family fell apart, Robyn played the victim, crying on camera, saying she just wanted peace. But peace never came. Instead, Christine and Janelle's independence became her worst nightmare. They were finally free to tell their truth, free to rebuild their lives, and free from the emotional cage Cody and Robyn had built around them. The fallout was enormous. Viewership for Sister Wives skyrocketed as fans rallied behind Christine and Janelle. They launched their own ventures, thriving without Cody's shadow. Meanwhile, Cody and Robyn's world began to crumble. Their financial troubles deepened. Their public image collapsed. And for the first time, the man who once boasted about his family empire was left with nothing but silence. The final blow came during a court review involving their shared properties. The financial records told a damning story of favoritism, mismanagement, and deceit. It confirmed what Christine and Janelle had been saying all along: the dream they built together had been stolen from them. Robyn may have won Cody's loyalty, but she lost everything else: respect, trust, and the family's unity. And Cody. He lost the very thing he claimed to value most: his legacy. Today, the Brown family stands as a cautionary tale, a reminder that love without honesty turns into control, that faith without fairness becomes manipulation, and that no empire built on lies can stand forever. Christine and Janelle rose from the ashes stronger than ever. Mary, though broken, finally found freedom in truth. And Robyn and Cody, they're left clinging to what's left: a crumbling house, a fractured dream, and the haunting echo of the family they destroyed. The Brown Empire didn't fall overnight. It was slowly eaten away by ego, by deceit, and by the illusion of power. And now, as the dust settles, one truth remains: the sister wives weren't just a television family. They were a mirror of what happens when love becomes control and loyalty turns into fear. Because in the end, it wasn't time or fame or the cameras that destroyed them. It was the choices they made behind closed doors.